Let's move on now to the New Orleans Saints in our training camp preview series and the top stories of the Saints that we feel everyone needs to be watching throughout the entirety of the training camp and the rest of the preseason. But before we do that, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button and also ring the bell to get notified when we create new content. Ryan and I, we have a lot more videos coming out in our training camp series, one of every team that I think you Saints fans should check out. Also, a lot of preseason content and also weekly prediction videos throughout the entirety of the regular season. If you want to see those videos easily and all the Saints predictions, be sure to subscribe to the channel and also ring the bell to get notified when those videos are released. And Ryan, let's just start off. There's really just kind of the main story for the Saints that has happened since, or that we've all been wondering since March when they signed Derek Carr. But how is Derek Carr going to do in this offense? What additional is he going to bring that Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston can't bring? And so, I'm not saying that he's on the same level, but it just you're paying this guy $40 million, and you could have gotten Andy Dalton for 11. Yeah. What more could he bring to the team? And I think he does bring a little bit of a. I think Andy Dalton's like a Derek Carr light. So I think you're going to get just a stronger, better, more consistent version of that. But in today's age, and I also think where the Saints team is at overall offensively, and just overall, I feel like that's a lot of money to pay for a quarterback when you have a bunch of other needs for the team, especially to get into the defense and how you got just absolutely just a lot of your defensive members went to different teams, especially within the division, which we'll get to later. But Derek Carr is number one story entering the training camp and how he's going to mesh with Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and the other receiving core as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be really interesting to see. I think this is probably the worst receiving core Derek Carr has had since he's been in the league. Chris Olave had a really good rookie season. And also Michael Thomas is kind of coming back. That whole situation still, I don't really know because he's been apparently coming back for 3 seasons now. And so for me, it's just going to be interesting to watch. How does he assimilate? How does he pick up the offense? One of the things, Dennis Allen was Derek Carr's first head coach in the league, I believe. I think that's what that says. Yeah, his first NFL head coach. So that'll be interesting to watch. But yeah, I don't know. They spent a lot of money. They needed a lot of other pieces. They let a lot of other guys walk, and then they spent this money on Derek Carr. And I'm just not quite sure how business-wise if that was a really solid move or not. But in terms of Carr's play, what I think he brings to the table is he's going to be more consistent than Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's consistent, but Derek Carr is going to make more plays consistently. Yeah, is what I mean. So he's also still a little bit more in the prime of his career. Andy Dalton is definitely getting older, but again, I just don't know like how much it really moves the needle.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, I agree completely. That's where it's going to be just kind of the overall like story to watch. Was this the right move? Because the NFC South is weak. I mean, I know I'm biased. I have the Falcons, I think, as winning the division. Panthers, I think, are going to be a close second. I don't have the Saints or the Buccaneers being close. But that being said, though, it's not like the Falcons or the Panthers are like the Eagles, so to say. Yeah. They have clear vulnerabilities and clear question marks. So it could be for the taking if they are able to if this was the right decision. And sorry, my bad. I was trying to think of a segue to kind of also the next training camp story as well, which is this is kind of more breaking news, but it's involving Alvin Kamara. He did end up accepting a plea deal for a misdemeanor charge in a Las Vegas fight. So that's going to be kind of another training camp story
as well. Much of a fight, but
that's just, I guess is the title of the article is altercation. I'll just call it that right there. And how is that going to play out? One for the just his overall career, but also for the Saints organization as a whole. Is he going to be suspended? If so, how many games is he going to be suspended? Then that leads into Kendrick Miller, who you got, which was a great pick, and I think that he can come in and replace Alvin Kamara. He's not as great of a back catching out of the backfield, but maybe he can improve in that area. He did show slight increments of improvement, and I think that he could get better at that. But still, though, that being said, though, Alvin Kamara is one of the best players on the team And if you lose him to suspension for any length of time, that's going to be tough for an organization. So how this plays out, and then what the fallout is going to be for the team.
Yeah. So basically, has to pay a fine of $100,000.
I think it pays for the medical
the $100,000 goes to the victim, and then he has to do community service, but he's still subject to the league's personal conduct policy. So they could come out and suspend him for his actions and kind of go through that whole process, and then that doesn't even include what the Saints could do to him as well. So that'll be another thing to kind of follow here. One thing that I do want to touch on before we end this video here, Taysom Hill I think has come out and said he has a goal to play every offensive position for at least a snap in his career. And I think he's gotten most of them. Like he's played wide receiver, running back, quarterback, tight end.
I don't know how he can play center maybe, because centers don't need to be the biggest of guys.
Yeah. But anyways, I think that's just going to be fun to kind of track and see what all he does on the offensive side of the ball, because he really has kind of become the Swiss Army knife of the league that everybody kind of tries to emulate. So that'll be really fun. They have him signed for a good bit of money, I believe. So that's just another interesting training camp story to follow. So that'll be fun. But but let's go ahead and wrap up the New Orleans Saints training camp preview there. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe and leave a comment down below on what you think the Saints are going to do in 2023. Do you think they're going to get back to winning the division, or do you think that they're going to continue to kind of stay in this rebuilding state while the rest of the division gets better and somebody takes the division crown in 2023? Let us know what you think down below. And other than that, we'll see you guys next time.